Hey guys, and welcome back to the next video. Today I want to showcase a couple of attacks in builder base, like what are the most common attacks, what attacks should you use, and what troops should you use if you like, or like what troops should you upgrade if you like those attacks. So I will go about over a couple of attacks. I will show you air and ground army and mixed armies. I think build on 9 is like so nice right now. You have such a variety in attacks and troops what you can actually use. It's super nice, and I will show you guys how to actually perform those attacks. We are today in Sofajäger, which is a German top 10, like by far the number 110 in Germany, and they're most of the time in the top 5 at least, if not even in the top 3 in the global rankings as well, so pretty high over there. They know what they are doing, and we'll showcase a couple of their attacks, and in the end one of my attacks that they're mostly using air, but I have a couple of, or like one nice ground army as well. And once again, I won't show any hog glider attacks because I just did a hog glider guide kinda. So if you want to see attacks which is using the hog glider, like the new troop, check out this video. On this one I will do all of the attacks without the hog gliders. So let's jump into the first attack. The first one I want to show you guys is from Pekka, and he's using Loons and Minions, which is super strong right now, and especially against the lower bases, which hasn't upgraded too much yet. It's just like such an overpowering combination of troops, but at the same time, it's kind of risky because, like you guys can see over here, if you run into air traps and if they are placed well, like on this one, the air traps weren't too good, but if you have like a base which is really good against air, you struggle a lot. But the bases you want to attack and you have to look out for is kind of bases where you can dodge those two defenses as long as possible. The Mega Tesla and the Air Bomber defense. It's like such a huge power spike if you have those maxed, and if you place those correctly in your bases, you can stop those air attacks easily. But at the same time, if you can see the weakness in a base where those defenses are not placed perfectly, it's really easy to get really high percentage 2-stars like Pekka is doing right here. Really nice entry, already above 70% of the base is destroyed, and he still has troops left, which we can see over here. And once again, I will go over a couple of air attacks, then we will switch over to hybrid attacks, and then later we will go over a couple of ground attacks. I will always explain what troops do you need. On this one, you have only to upgrade 2 troops, which is kind of nice because you don't have to invest too much when it comes down to magic items or like the hammers, etc. So it's super easy to use, and as well, it's not too expensive when you are going, when you have to invest your magic items. So that's pretty nice. Loons and Minions, a super strong strategy. In my opinion, a little bit weaker than, for example, the Baby Dragon Minion strategy, because as soon as they're getting higher, the Mega Tesla are stealing like way more damage. And I think that's a huge part in like overall the army composition, or like the base defending against this strategy. So that's something you have to watch out for, but otherwise it's really good to use, and right now super strong. Let's get into the next attack. The second attack I want to show you guys is with Baby Dragon and Minions. But no, it's not the classic Baby Dragon Minion spam, what I already highlighted as well in a couple of my videos. There are 2 ways on how to use this strategy, like this army composition. The first one is like I did, kind of spammy, like spam Minions and Baby Dragons in. This one is more traditional, like this classic hashtag dirty Baby Dragon spam, which Gillidan, created kinda. So it is more about like circling the base, trying to get as many percentage as possible, and then in the end use the minions to get rid of the town hall, like the builder hall. But now there's a huge like, why do you use minions instead of baby dragons? And the answer is kind of easy, because the answer why you don't only use baby dragons is if you want to snipe the town hall, you have most of the time the Mega Tesla right next to it. And if you have a maxed Mega Tesla right next to it, the builder hall, oh boy, you have a tough time to get the builder hall with baby dragons, because the Mega Tesla is pretty much one-shotting those baby dragons, which makes it really hard to actually get the town, like the builder hall. And with this, you just take minions, because the minions, like you can see, they're out of range of everything. They're on this line, they're shooting over here, they're taking out the builder hall really easily, and that's pretty much it. That's why you're taking minions instead of baby dragons. And like you guys can see, above 80% already. Really nice attack. sure, this base wasn't maxed completely, but you see already, like the new defense is really high level, and overall the base isn't like upgraded too bad. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to use the strategy. It's super strong right now, but at the same time you can use it in 2 different ways. I won't show you the spammy attack once again because I showed that already in a couple of videos, and use it pretty much the same way as the Loon and Minion army attack, which we had in the first replay. But this one, it's super nice to use. It's super strong right now, and just pick the Town Hall with the minions. The next one I want to show you guys is kind of like a hybrid attack, if you want to call it like this. You have kind of the main army like in the first one with balloons and minions, but now you have one army camp with baby dragons. And the reason why he's bringing baby dragons is he's doing a really nice thing with timing. Like, he's spreading his troops that he has those baby dragons from the bottom, and at the same time not too much shooting at them. Like, the battle machine is tanking quite some defenses. At the same time, the loons with the minions are coming from the top, which means all of those defenses that are in the core, like all of those crackers, rows or whatsoever, none of them really knows in which, like, which direction should I shoot at. So like, if you do this, it's really hard to get the timing right. But as soon as you get the timing down, like, it's super strong as an army. You just have to make sure that the timing, or everything is meeting in the middle, is perfect, and you don't have your main group, like the loons, minions, etc., already died when you're coming in with the baby dragons. The same thing around. Like, you don't want to have your baby dragons in the core when the minion and the loon part didn't even start yet. So that's super important and to keep in mind. But that's like a kind of like a mixed attack, and it's way more complicated, or like timing wise way more harder and way more difficult than the normal loon and minion attack. But if you guys want to give it a try, you need baby dragons, minions and loons as high as possible, and then it's super strong. But now let's get into the first attack, where we have some ground troops. Okay, and this one we have the first time a couple of ground troops. Georg is using some Pekka, and Pekka are so strong in Bitter Base right now. It's insane. Like, if you have them, like, those Pekka aren't even maxed. If you have them maxed, they're dealing so much damage. They're so tanky, it's actually insane. They're having a boost of 1200 HP, something like that, when you upgrade them from 16 to 18, which is insane to me. And it's super fun that they're having kind of like a small comeback, because on Bill 8, they were okay sometimes to use, but not so strong. And on Bill 9, they're so strong. It's super fun to use them. And he's kind of using a small push. And you want you want to do those attacks on bases where a lot of defense are around the Bitter Hall, so you can get rid of as many arch towers, crackers, whatsoever, as possible with the explosion and the battle machine. And the reason why you're bringing in Pekka and not cannon cards is pretty much the traps. Like, you have so many spring traps, giant bombs, whatsoever, around the Bitter Hall, that is always super risky to take cannon cards, especially if you only have 3. Like, it's so easy that you lose a couple of them. And if you have no troops in front of them, like if you have barbarians, you can pretty much test every single angle where you could come from with traps, like spring traps, giant bombs, etc. But if you have only one Pekka or only one battle machine, it's pretty hard to test every single angle for your cannon cards. So that's a huge problem for cannon cards in general if you do those kill squads. So what Georg did is he just used a couple of Pekka, like only 2, to get into the town hall. He used the minion in the beginning to clear this building, so the Pekka and his battle machine are going inside, and that was pretty much the plan. After that, he's just picking up percentages once again with baby dragons and minions. And that's it. That's how you execute those kill squad attacks. I like the attacks as well. I didn't know this attack before. I will try it for sure, because I like the thinking behind that. But yeah, you need a couple of troops max for that. Pekka, if you have the max, that's super helpful. Baby dragons and minions would be nice as well if you have those max. But that's it for this attack, and we will get into the last attack, which is, yeah, one of mine. Let's go. Okay, and the last one is going to be a full ground army. Once again, I think that the ground armies are getting the strongest when you're adding Hawk Riders. Once again, if you want to see Hawk Rider gameplay, check out my earlier video. It is in English as well. And you can see a lot of gameplay over there, like different army compositions on how to combine the Hog Riders with different armies. But that's the way to go if you don't have those Hog Riders max or at all. And for this one, you need archers, cannon cards, and the Pekka. That's pretty much it, what you need. You can sometimes just like don't use the archers, but then it's most of the time really low percentage. But what is the idea behind this? It's kind of like the kill squad attack with the baby dragons and the minions, like the last one. But on this one, it's more focused on the actual town hall push. So you invest way more. You invest overall 4 Pekka to get into the town hall. Cannon cards as well to support everything. And then you have those troops going inside. You have so many Pekka. They are so tanky. It's insane. And they're like, they can tank for ages. At the same time, as soon as they explode, they will deal a lot of damage. We can zoom in over here as well. Like as soon as the first Pekka is exploding, you will see the damage, which like what he will do. Like the Pekka over here, explosion, bam, the first building is gone. Like it's super strong right now. The cannon cards are supporting the Pekka at the top a little bit, and the Pekkas meanwhile at the bottom are like just going ham. And after my kind of kill squad, around 74% of the base is already destroyed, which is kind of a big deal. But at the same time, on this one, the town hall, like the builder hall, got skipped. Normally you don't have to use your archers for the builder hall. You can just use the archers for percentage. On this one, I just used a couple of archers for the builder hall just to get the down, and then the rest of it for percentage. And that's pretty much it for the attack strategy. I hope you guys liked a couple of those strategies. My personal favorite is this one. I will for sure try the Baby Dragon and Pekka Attack as well. I'm just a huge fan of the Pekka right now, and I will try to get my Hog Riders max as fast as possible, so I don't have to spend every single time Power Potion. But like my favorite troops right now in Builder Hall 9, like for sure Pekka and Hog Glider. Like they're so damn cool. Like it's insane. I'm super happy that we are seeing such a variety in attacks. I know most of the players were like saying, air is OP, whatever, but ground, you cannot underestimate ground. And as soon as you have those maxed bases, air will be really really hard to execute. So that will be interesting to see as soon as we see the first max bases. But that was pretty much it for this video. Now you guys are like up to do something, and I want to know from you guys, what was your favorite attack strategy? What strategy do you use? If I did not mention it, like do you use still mass archers or something like that? Mass archers is still a thing, but might be not as strong as some of the other armies I just mentioned. So what do you guys use? What do you guys hate to go against the most? Like, is it still archers, or do you hate to just like getting wrecked by those loon and minion attacks? If you hate those, just check out my anti-air Builder Hall 9 base, but at the same time, just give me some feedback and what you like the most about the armies, and what army do you guys use at the moment. That was it for this video. I hope you liked it. Give some feedback in the comments below, and what you guys want to see next. I will see you guys in the next video in 2 days, and see you there. Bye bye.